Okay, today we're going to have some demo to set up a website with the high available lab environment, including the load balance and the auto scaling feature. This is a diagram we've been looking after. So this diagram, you can see we have one AWS cloud, we have two available zones, and that was in the one region, there was a one VPC across these two available zones. And in that availability zone, let me enlarge a little bit. You can see there was a public one, public two, and private one, and private subnet two. Right. So ideally, all the situation, we're going to be using the web server and also the databases. So the web server is going to be and database will be in the private subnet, and they're using load balancing to go to the internet gateway to come outside. So to be able to set up this environment, below other steps, the first steps, we're going to create an our VPC and the subnets, all right, including the internet or net gateway routing table. So we can find that there was a network IP address schema. So you can see we're using that 10.5.00/16, and then we have 4 subnets across each of one cross the one available zone. So those 2 zones being involved. Then we will be creating the web security group, which been allowed for HTTP to access. And then we'll be set up our EC2 instance and the RDS, the database, so they can be connected. So that was a few steps in there. And then once we set up the connection to RDS database, next stage is we're going to be creating AMI. So the AMI is the images they can capture your web server. And then after that, we can create a load balancing and auto scaling features. So we can create copies from the previous AMI website, and they can have multiple copies and connect to the database. All right. So eventually, we're trying to set up a trigger to enable that auto scaling thing, so they can be running with, for example, high CPU loading. After that, you will be able to see there was more instances being created to simulate in the auto scaling scenario. Right. So let's come to the first things. In these cases, I'm using AWS Learner Lab, which is the ones we have. And these are the ones I enable. So I'm open the AWS Management Console. And as you can see, I'm currently on the US West 2. Right, so that's the region I'm on. So I'm going to go next is first in creating the VPC. Go to the VPC page. And let's just, you can click launch wizard. For me, I'll just go to the EC2 instance. So it's the West one in here. Right. So to better, I'm just trying to minimize it, make a little bit bigger screen. Okay, so currently this one is the default one, as you can see. I'm going to create a VPC. I'm choosing VPC with the VPC subnets. So this gives me a diagram. So we're choosing the VPC and the subnets. Okay, so give it a name. So this is a demo. And the block is 10.5. So sorry, let's look at the left side to follow that schedules we have before. And there was no IPv6. We got across 2 AZs, and there was 2 public zone, 2 private subnet. But we want to, you can customize them if you want to. So that can be choosing A or B, but I'll just use that A and the B for now. And then we were going to need a one net gateway. Yes, we need it. And do we need the S3? No, we don't need the S3, but we can customize our subnets. So look at the options in here. So I'm going to follow that schedule. Just type 1/24, and this is going to be, this is a public, so it's going to be 3. It's going to be /24, and now we give it to, this is going to be 2/24. And here we go. Last one is give to 4 with /24. Okay, so that's the ideal situation. We don't need a VPC ending. Enable the DNS. Right, you'll be able to see That's schedules. So you can see they will be creating the routing table and also the VPCs and Internet Gateway and Net Gateway. Right. Anyway, so once done, we create the VPC. Right. These probably take a minute, so we can see that's been created. We'll leave that running. Then we'll do the next thing is creating a security group. Okay. So we might better just wait this finish. Give a second. Normally this might take about 1 minute, so save a little bit time. We'll just go to another one. We'll just directly go to our EC2 and the global view. Sorry, I just want to go to the on the top. I got an EC2 in here. So I'm gonna do is make sure I'm still on the US West 2. Then we'll be creating a security group. That security group is the one allow for web access. So we're going to create a security group. We call as a demo web access policy. Now will be allow HTTP access. So in these cases, we're choosing the VPC we want it, which is the one we just created. See, this one's almost done. Would just normally you should be waiting until the last bit, but to save the time, as it's been created, so I just choose the option for now. And we're going to increase the rules. The rules be including, I'll give to the, just for, in case for troubleshooting, I'll probably add in other ones just in case we need troubleshooting, but ideally don't need it. So I might just give HTTP and any IP address. I might just add another one just in case we need it. So I'll add an HTTPS as well. And for testing purpose, I might just add in the SSH just in case I might need to go inside to troubleshooting them. Right, I can take them off if I need it. So once you've done this part, yeah, you can add a tag if you want. So it's name, it just demo web access. See, all right. So you'll be able to see you have the inbound rules for these three, 1, 2, 3, and then outbound normally is by default to give everyone. All right, so that's done. And also here you can see the VPC is done. We can check the VPC to verify it. In the lab, doesn't matter about these rule groups, just ignore that, it's fine. You can see the VPC has been created and we have a full subnets. We can easily check by filter by VPC, and now we'll come in with the, let me give it a try as number 2. So what's that, the one? Yeah, so that's the option. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. And each of ones already have the routing table been created as well. So you can see this public one already have the internet gateway, and this private one, you have the net gateway been created. All right, so that's the diagram we created. So we have done so far, we've done the first one. Let's just highlight this one, so it means we've been finished. And we finished this one. Yeah. The next one we can create in the web instances and RDS. Okay, so that's the 2 things. Let's go to the EC2 first. So we come to instances. So in these cases, we can launch instance. Oops, sorry. I'll just say, give a name, demo web, well, origin. All right, so this is the original one, so we can use it as a capture. So we do some configuration, connect to database stuff. So choose the ones. I'll choose an Amazon Linux 2 and 64-bit. Yeah, looks so good. T2 micro key pair. Well, doesn't really have a key, so we just create a key if we need it. So give a name, say demo key. So for easy access, you can use a PAM if you're using OpenSSH. But if I'm currently running Windows, so I'm using PPK, so I can use a PuTTY. Right, so I'm going to save the key to my folder. Demo PPK key, that's key. Okay, I'll just save that for now, so just in case we need it. Network settings, go to modify settings, choose the VPC we created. Yeah, that's a demo VPC. And the subnets, we'll just go to the maybe the public 2, that's the one, because that's the one images as by default in the public area. It doesn't really matter if you put in private, but just for public first, so we can have an internet IP address, so we can access from my computer. All right, later on when you create the images, you're probably going to be just from the private subnet, which we can't really access from internet straight away. All right, firewalls, yeah, we already have a one, so that's the one being created, demo web policy. We don't need additional network configuration. Storage by default is fine. Advanced detail. Okay, so we need to set up a web server which we can have the user data. So just scroll down to the bottom with the user data in here. I do prepare the script. So these are the scripts we're going to use for us to set up a web server and also including install the HTTP, PHP MySQL, and the PHP MySQL. Some databases and a sample PHP file so we can connect to the database. So I'm going to copy this one and paste in here. Right. So that's going to be do the jobs. We'll move down and that's pretty much. So let's just make sure that everything's okay. Majority is make sure you got run with network settings. Yeah, and the public area and with enable IP address, then yes, let's do it. Right, so that one's quickly. So we move upstairs. We have done our website. So if you refresh your page, you should be see these ones coming. Yeah, of course, still on pending. All right. Well, we'll probably did a little bit earlier for that one, but doesn't matter. We come that later on. So you can see there's a public IP address. Copy that one, and you should be able to access that one. So if we paste the go, you might be want to change in the front if only allow for HTTP. So just type that name in there. So it's HTTP, that website. I mean, you wouldn't be able to access it for now because we just, okay, it's running. So we'll leave that running. It may take a little bit of time. So let's come back for creating the database. Okay, so the website has been done and we need, so creating a website instance. This bit is finished. And let's try to finish our database. All right, to do the database, we need to create in the DB security group and the DB subnet group, okay? Because the database is going to be staying the same with these two areas. So that's, and also security group allow for the access with the protocol. There's a couple of things we're going to be doing. Meanwhile, we'll just double check that one, make sure it's been working. It still take a little bit of time. We'll see how it goes. Just give a few minutes. Yeah, so you can see this one's coming. It's currently tell me with the instance and also have the DB zones with the US West 2B. That's all right. We'll leave that for now. So you can click the RDS page. It's actually going to be showing you how to connect to the website stuff. Okay, we'll leave that running now. All right, let's go to another, let's just go to the step, creating the DB security group. So what we can do is go to security group. We can create another security group. So it's demo DB security group. Right, so allow MySQL, that's the one, and RDS we're going to use MySQL as well. So choose the VPC. Demo VPC is the one we choose. Add in the rules. So that's going to be, I'll just type MySQL and Aurora. Let's give it 3306. That's good. Give all the IP address range. Outbound rule, leave as default. Yeah, just create that group. All right, so that group has been created, which is called Demo DB Security Group. You probably can see the options in here, but sometimes it's better just personal habit. I just want to add in something in the name, so DB, so just for easy to check in the future. So in case I got it wrong, yeah. Right. We create just two groups. So one is given to the EC2, one's given to the database. Right, so this security group we have done, and then we come to DB Subnet. Let's go to the, now we're gonna come to the RDS. Right, let me open a new link. Come to the RDS. Right, now the first thing before we create a database, we will go to the subnet group because we need to define a network. Similar like you do in VPC with your virtual machine. I'll just create a DB network. So give a name, demo DB. So demo DB subnet. So now VPC still be demo VPC is the one we choose. Subnets. Okay, so these are the subnets we can choose. Remember we got the 2A and the 2B. That's the one we've been created previously in our VPC, and that's all. Then we come to the subnets. Of course, we're going to use as two as a private, so we're not choosing the public subnets. So if you look at the diagram we have before, two private, it's the these are two private. So the IP address is 2.0 and 4.0. Okay, we move upstairs. So we're going to choose 2.0 and 4.0. Okay, so make sure it doesn't make up with this one. Make sure the IP address is matching because it didn't really tell you what the public or private one. So you need to know what the IP address you have. Okay, 204, and just create it. Right. So the subnet network for the DB is done, and so these are the parts we finished. Come to the next one. We can create an AWS RDS instance. So let me just go to the dashboard and create a database. Okay, so this is the place. You need to be very cautious because when you create a database, everything's run. It could be easily ruin everything you wouldn't able to connect to them. Okay, so what we do is go to the MySQL page, choose the MySQL community. Yeah, standard created. Version, leave as default. We can come to production or you want to come to dev testing, doesn't really matter. Well, for these cases, just for a testing, maybe production, we'll choose that. I don't think there's too much difference. So we go to the multiple AZ or single, or we can go multiple AZ DB instance. We're not even creating a cluster, so just using the DB instance. And then give a instance identifier, so it's like a name. I'll just say demo DB. Give the master name, so I choose it as main. The reason I'm doing this is because we need to connect it later on in the website in the RDS page. So you need to cautious everything you type in here. So it's better just record a point in here. So that's a database connection later on we need it. So currently you can see the master username. It's the main. And the password, I'll just using the password 1, just for example. Password 1. So I'm going to put in password in here. This is demo, so you can put in there. And database classes, we choose as Blaster classes. That will give you default smallest one is that T3 micro, 1 GB should be enough. And the provisions, you want to cheap a little bit, just general purpose SSD is okay. Or you want to choose as IO1, that's okay. I don't think it's just probably money, we cost a little bit difference. And storage 20 enough. Enable storage autoscaling. Well, you can leave that or you can cancel. It doesn't really matter in this case. Okay, now it's come to the important part. You need to make sure your network is right. So not default one. It's demo VPC. That's one we use it. And groups demo. That's the one. Demo DB group subnet group we created. Public access. No, we don't need it. And the security group. Yeah, we just created one. Remember, we got the demo DB security group, not the web access. So that's the one. But the problem is when you select it, the default one's still there. So you need cancel that one. All right. Pay attention one. Additional configuration port number we leave as what it is. And the password authentication enough. We're not going to use the row in this case. Additional information. Let's have a look. So the DB database name, that's the bit. You can't miss that one, otherwise it'll be fail. Okay. So go to this option. Yeah, so we type what the main, we just give the same name as we say was a demo DB. Right, so that's the name for database, demo DB. Okay, we're not come to the endpoint, which is the location of a database. We'll leave that for now. And do we need a backup? Well, you can choose a backup if you want how many days, but to demo purpose, I'll just cancel that one for now. Encryption, no, encryption doesn't really need it. I'll just enable enhanced monitoring, this additional cost, no need for now. And O2 minor version upgraded. Well, doesn't really matter for now. There's options now. Enable delete protection. I'll cancel that because I might delete that later on. So it's okay. As you can see, if you want a fast speed, yeah, I might just change that one if I want. I'll see what the difference with the price. So if you choose an IO1, yeah, everything keep it the same. Yeah, the price, as you can see, did it give you the price for that? Didn't really mention that now. Okay. Right. I saw them maybe mentioning it, but that's okay. We'll leave that. Okay. Just go create a database. Right. So these will take about 2 or 3 minutes probably. So as you can see, it's been creating an instance in the database with a name. So what we're doing is we click that option, go to the DB identifier. Um, it's actually working on currently. So you can view the credentials. That's the main and the password. So you can see, you can copy that one, but we already have mark in here, which is good. And you can see it's been created. Take a few minutes. Okay, let's have a look. Now it's come to modifying stage, which means we can sort of connect to that. And we can see the endpoints come in. So what we're doing is just copy that bit. All right, we can just leave in here as the endpoint. All right, so that's the place we can connect it. So ideally, if we go to the endpoint, go to the endpoint, pop copy in there, and we'll submit. Yeah, you should be able to see it's running some script. And probably in a few seconds, you should be able to see the database coming. So we just give a second. Yep. So you can see database address book. You can add a new one if you want it. So you can see you add a new contact. So just a small database. I say Joe Lee. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, ABC, or just give a random information. And you should be able to see those new records being created. So that database has been connected. Right, that's everything we have done with that image. So next stage, we've been almost done that, creating the RDS instance is done, connect to the RDS database is done. So all of that, it's done. So yeah, 50% is almost. Next one is creating AMI. So what we're doing is to go to the instance page, choose the instance we have, and go to the actions, come to the images, then just create an image. All right, so that's what I'm going to say, web image. All right, I just call the name. So as a web image already connected to DB. Right, and basically you don't need to do anything. Well, you can add a tag if you want it. So in the name, don't do demo IAM. Am I? That's all right. And then let's just create image. Right, that one is pretty easy to done. So whenever you finished, you should be able to see your images from your list. That's one which you can see is already in there. So we can use that one in the future. So still being on pending, but that's fine. We can continue to next stage. So we'll leave that one as a run to finish now and then come to next one. So we come to this part, we have done the public, we have connected to the database. Now we're going to create a load balance so they can be hold on this the two groups and connect to the database. Next stage is creating a load balancer. So we're going to do just creating the target group first, and then put the target group into my load balance. Okay. So the target group, we need to go to, let's go to the EC2 page, come to the move to the bottom, that was the target groups. Okay, that's a good one. So I'm going to create a target group, choose the instance we need to create it. Yeah, that's the one, because we need to put a bunch of multiple instances together and give a name. So we can say demo target group. Yeah, put an ID is fine. We're using demo VPC, that's an option we got. HTTP is enough. And health check-in, advanced check-in, yeah, we leave as default. Yeah, that's basically almost everything we need. Go to next stage. Well, it come in with one instance we have, but we're not going to choose that because that's the demo we're going to that's like an original image, but we're going to use other ones in our private subnet. So we'll leave that for now. Just go to create it. Okay, so that one's been created. Next one we goes to, so this has been done. Now go to load balance. All right, come to load balance. In load balance, we just click create a load balance. Application networking gateway is the application level. Come to the HTTP. Yes, I can see the screen. So let's go to create. Give a name demo ELB. Yeah. Default option as the internet facing IPv4. Come to the VPC part, choose the demo VPC. And because that's the place we're going to map in, it's more like we're going to simulate in the public zone. So in these cases, we will be choosing as a public one. And in the second availability zones, we also choose as public 2. Right, so that's the options we need to choose. Then come to security group. Of course, that's not default one. We're going to use the one with a demo, not the DB, sorry. That's the web access policy. Yeah, and then come to the listener. Okay, listener is important because that's the one we created before. That's the target group we have created in there, so they can be saying whenever they come to the 80 port, the HTTP 80 port number is come to that group to creating more instances if needed. Okay. So once it's done, I think it's pretty much for everything. We just create and load a balance. All right, so you'll be able to see the load balance being created. Will take a little bit while. So once they've been done, you should be able to see they'll come in. That's all the information's in there. We got a DNS name. We got the listeners. We got a monitor. Yeah, but we'll leave this page. We'll come to this link. Okay, so that's we're going to copy the link, and we'll move that place to here. ELB address for this one. Leave for now. Right, that's one being created. Next stage is because we're creating load balance, we need to create an Autoscaling group, and then we can move the things into that. All right, so that's the next stage we're going to be doing. So let's come to the Autoscaling function. In the launch configuration, we creating the launch configuration. We give a name, so we can say as a demo config. AMI, remember that's AMI you can have before. That's the my AMI web image. That's one we have. Instance type. So in these cases, well, we can choose the free versions. In these cases, we're normally going to T2 as a micro as a free. I think that's also T2 micro. Choose the option. They might give some error message. Just ignore that's fine in the images. And request support, but no, we don't need a profile. No need it. So that's all default settings, I believe. The only thing is if we need monitoring, so we might go to one of the options to move down. Security group. Yeah, security group will be definitely will be needed. So security group will choose the one as default as the web access. Yeah, that's the one we have. So every machine being created, they will be allowed for HTTP access. And then key pair with the existing, the key pair we have, demo key. And let's look at if anything else we need. Okay, we need detail monitoring. So that's the one options we might be choosing another one just for the auto scaling and checking all the other utilities. This is the important option. You need to make sure you click that one. Yeah, I think that's pretty much for these. All right, let's just acknowledge it. And yeah, okay, they do have, well, we'll leave that option as well. So let's click launch. So that's been created, which is just choose these options. Come to the action. We're going to create an auto scaling group because we use another one to create in the auto scaling group. Okay, so what we do next is to give an auto scale name. We can say demo auto scaling group. Not configuration, which is already selected for that demo config. Move to the next one. And of course, we're choosing our VPC, demo VPC. Availability zones. In these cases, because we're going to use not like a ELB is mapping to public. These are the ones we're actually going to create in the instance. So we're going to choose as a private subnet. So in these cases, we're choosing as a private 1 and a private 2. Yeah, that's the two locations we created. And we move to next. Come to load balance. Of course, we have the load balance already. So we come to the load balance optional. Let's give me a look. Let's see additional settings. Yeah, enable the group with that option. Yeah, so we should be. Oh, sorry, this is the one I missed. We definitely need the load balance. That's the one we have. Choose the one we already have with the target group. So from option with the demo target group, that's the options we have. And check health check. No, we don't need it for health check. I think we have everything we need in there. And that's EC2 would normally be checking. And enable the group metrics for the CloudWatch. Yeah, that's the one we needed. And move to the next. And that's the option we choose our size. Okay, you can do whatever size you need it. In this case, if you want a desired size was 2, minimum was 2, and the maximum, let's see, just put a 5 in there, for example. All right, so that's the ones we've been asked. Do we have? No, not really mentioned. We can just for demo purpose. Yeah, and then scaling policies. Do we need any scaling policies? We're choosing the target policies. Yeah, because that's the one we need it. We give a policy name. So it can be the well, it can be saying it's the demo scaling. See, right, metrics. It can be used as the average CPU utilization. You do have other options as well. So currently we choose the option. Well, we can give like say it was 70%, for example. That's what we have, and then that instance that can leave as default. Then instance in scale options. No, we don't need that one, so we just go to next. And notification. No, don't. That's as default. Target. Oh, you can put a tag in there. So it could be the name and demo auto scaling. Yeah, all right, and go to next. I think that's pretty much for that. We have the two private zones. Load the balance. Yes. Then just creating a security group. Okay. So ideally, when you've done that, you should be able to come back to your EC2. Yeah, and well, let's come back to here. Let's come to your EC2 instances. Previously, only have ones running, but now you can see after you enable that one, you'll be able to see there was two groups being created so far. So they can see that's demo auto scaling, which come the name, and that's been pending and running currently, trying to suitable the desired request we have. So in these cases, we have done the creating the launch configuration security group. Yes, we will do monitoring. So we've been scaling new instances with private subnet. We've done that. Creating a CloudWatch alarm monitoring. Yep, that's the one we already set up. Triggering. Okay, that's the last bit. We waited this to be loading up, and once it's been loading up, we come back previous the load balance website. So that's the one we have. We copy that one to the websites in here. Actually, we got to go to the HTTP page, but that's fine. They come to that anyway. So you can see it's been loading currently. You got RDS database access as well. So it's taking a little bit of time, yeah, but it's working. And you come back to the page again. So you can see what the difference in here is like. You have that's 2B. If you refresh the page, yeah, you can see that's becoming to 2A. So that means that actually been load balance actually working. It's crossing two instances. Actually, this original one we don't need that, so we can actually shut it down because that's the one help us to build the images. Not really relevant now, so we can shut it down. Leave these two working. So basically, we can prove currently stage the ELB is working because every time we refresh the page, you can see it's coming 2A and 2B is coming that. Okay, which is very good. Last bit is testing our auto scaling. We're going to do just click the load testing. That's going to be trick this page to 100% of the CPU load. Just give a few minutes. We just give a few minutes to see how the workings in there. Okay, so we can see after a little bit while, you'll be able to see that I was coming with an alarm, so which means it's getting high CPU running because CPU utilization is more than 50% for about 3 minutes. So that's the time is coming. And then you come back to instance, you should be able to see there was a new instance coming. Yeah, that was a new instance showing on the list. Yeah, if they keep that running, you're probably going to see more instances coming straight away.